Mm, mm.
Let's see.
And then my sinus has been killing me. Well, I told you that earlier this week.
Yeah.
Mhm.
You ready?
Hello? I just got finished eating um, um, a cough drop.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. All right.
All right. Welcome back, everybody, to the Father Son Talk Sports Show. This is your boy Paul here with Dad to me. Paul, to you.
Hey, everybody.
Hey, what's going on, Pop? Hey,
What's up, man?
just do a quick react show to that watching paint dry game between the Texans and the Browns. I mean, that was one of the most boring games I think I ever saw. But so with that said, this should be a very quick recap. Deshaun Watson was obviously less than stellar, but if I didn't play football in 700 days, I wouldn't be that way either. So he was kind of what he was. The offense sputtered a lot. I don't even think we really scored an offensive touchdown. That was a problem. But the defense picked up. Special teams picked up the slack in a game that the Browns just absolutely must have. They can't lose that game, obviously, if they want to continue their season. So what did you come away with thinking about that game?
The paint. I just watched it dry. That's it. Literally. I watched it. As a matter of fact, to be honest with you, son, I was uh, doing a little cleaning and a little vacuuming and paying attention and all that stuff. I just knew it was going to be an ugly game, especially from for Deshaun Watson. I mean, he hasn't played football in 2 years. 700 days, man, and I knew you couldn't ask a lot out of him in his performance. So you're right.
Yeah, I
It
mean,
was.
it was just a really absolutely boring game, and I really didn't think. I thought the defense showed up, but I mean, man, they got ran over. Seemed like at will again, and the Dolphins kind of did it to them too, but they were actually getting run over today by Damian Pierce and company, and I just didn't understand. I mean, they just still to this day will not bring the level of physicality that you have to bring to an NFL game. I mean, maybe they're just not big enough to do it. Maybe Denzel Ward is just not big enough, and maybe he's too light. Um, and Miles Garrett just doesn't have the engine that we need, nor does Clowney have the engine or maybe and the talent to do what we need him to do. But we need him to make game changing plays, and they're not doing that. I mean, obviously they're going out there and I saw Miles on a couple of plays, man, take plays off. Just, I mean, he was rushing up the field. The play was right there. They were running, and he was just walking. I said, I don't understand how you could walk mid play. I don't. I mean, when did we start walking in the middle of the play? I don't. I didn't understand that part. But I mean, I guess it is what it is. To each his own.
Right. My evaluation of effort has been their effort has been questionable for pretty much the whole portion of the season. For some reason, it seems like we seem to be slow walking, or just slow walking everything. It's like we just standing in place, or we just in a malaise where there's really truly no emotion, no effort, no devotion being displayed. Um, it's been troublesome all year. I haven't seen them play inspired football yet.
Yeah. Now,
Um,
does that fall on the coach? Is that the coach's fault that we can't get inspired football from this football team that we invest so much time and money into? Is it the coach's fault or is it the player's fault? I mean, which one?
I mean, if you want to summarize it, to me, you got to say part of it is culture. Um, because there's certain teams in the NFL. Once you get drafted by, you can't bring lackluster effort to the table because it's not going to be accepted. Then, of course, you got to look at the coaching staff and their ability to motivate their team, and to get what you have to get out them as far as their performance. And then you got to ultimately you got to look at the individual players too, because there's no one that's stepping into that leadership role to just carry them across the finish line.
Yeah.
It's really it's a systemic failure,
Yeah.
but it just has to be answered. Period.
And it's crazy that we're talking this way. You would have thought we lost the game. We won the game, but it was a game against, like I said, an opponent that I don't even understand how they even were as close as they were. I mean, they had one win for a reason, and they played like it today. So even though I know that we won, it just still makes me feel some type of way because what I saw was defense that against better teams that'll get you beat every game, and it just can't be that way. They had a chance to go out there today and dominate. They obviously didn't do that. So I mean, I just don't really know. I want to have all the optimism and faith in the world that going forward, it's going to get better and that we can make a run in this division to play in the postseason. But I can't get optimistic about a run that we're going to make and when we can't stop anybody on defense. Like, I mean, how can you do that? You can't get run on in football. That's the number one principle. I mean, if you're getting the ball run down your throat, you're going to lose that game 99% of the time.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, I'm right there with you, Pablo. Because no, I mean you can't get out physical at the line of scrimmage, and right now at the defensive line, our defensive line is just getting dominated. They're
Oh no.
getting they're getting their butts kicked.
Yeah.
Let's put them in the layman's terms. I mean, they're getting their butt kicked every Sunday,
Mm-hmm.
literally. I mean, they are absolutely just taking a L every Sunday up front. And I'm sorry, in the NFL, that should not take place like that.
So, Dad, put your coach's hat on for a second. If
Uh,
you were the coach of the Cleveland Browns and you had this team that you have right now, you can't change the construction of the team during the season, but you have the team that you have. What would you do as a coach to get the best out of Miles Garrett, to get the best out of Jadeveon Clowney, to get the best out of everyone that you have on that defense, to have them? Because here on defense, it's not like offense. You can play hard and get better results. You can actually hustle on defense and play better. You just can't. You can hustle all you want on offense. If you slow, you slow. It doesn't really matter. But at the end of the day, they can play harder on offense. But how would you get your players to play harder? How would you get your players to play with their heart and to play like their hair's on fire?
Paul, it's all about being a leader of men. I mean, you got to be able to understand each and every one of your players' weaknesses and strengths, and you got to design your defense corresponding to that to put them in the best situation that they can perform the best they can, which will ultimately bring team success. To me, from the X's and O's standpoint, I have to break it down in different areas too, because from a schematical standpoint, to me, our defense is predictable. To me, you don't ever see anything exotic or anything different. Our alignments are pretty much the same
Yeah,
every play or
every
all the time.
yeah,
And then when you do that, you make the blocking scheme for the offense so much easier because they know exactly where you're going to be.
yeah,
We never change up. We don't have any blitzes that come from different directions. There's nothing that spices this defense up. It's vanilla at its core.
yeah. So that falls on the coaching staff. Obviously, it has to fall on them because they're the ones that draw up the plays. They're the ones that set the tone. Because we already kind of established that we don't necessarily have a leader on defense. And I thought that Jacoby was the leader on offense, but now we lost him too. So now we don't have a leader really on offense or defense because Chubb doesn't say anything, so he can't be the leader. He's just out there doing his job, doing an excellent job at doing his job, but doing his job.
Right. I just know that. Well, let's get back to the defense and the coaching or what we see. Right.
Hmm.
Uh, obviously, we are small. We're small when it comes to our defensive tackles. We're small when it comes to our inside linebacking. We're small on the corners, which ultimately end up can be being the edge. We seem to be small for an NFL team,
Yeah, we just
and
small period.
right, and you
Hmm.
really truly can't compensate for that at all if you want to be vanilla when it comes to the X's and O's and the positioning of the players.
No,
You gotta be you have to be on the edge. You gotta be willing to take chances in order to get those smaller players in a better athletic side to side way instead of trying to run through people because that's not going to happen.
no, no. I
You got to
mean,
use you
yeah,
have to use some imagination when it comes to scheming in order for the size, just the sheer size of our defense, to
yeah,
be really truly capable of winning and stopping the opponent.
yeah.
Right now, it's just sad to see. It
I
just
mean,
is.
it definitely is. I mean, but here, all we can do, I think that we kind of sum this up. All we can really do is take it a week at a time. All we could do is take everything for what it is. We knew that our quarterback was coming back and he was going to be rusty. He didn't let us down because he was definitely rusty. We knew that our defense was porous against the run, especially up the middle, and our defense was porous against the run, especially up the middle. So nothing really happened today that was outside of the realm of possibility. The only thing that happened today is that you played a Texans team that only won one time in 11 games. So you're not really there's really nothing to be said about today's game besides that fact ultimately. So here, going forward against the Bengals, you've had their number, you've owned them, but now we're at a point where we are going to really need to win this game if we want to keep our season going and really build momentum because every game gets bigger with every victory. So do you think that we could pull it off against the Bengals, or do you think that we kind of just on borrowed time?
I I, it, I still don't understand, or I don't see how we could beat the Bengals on a consistent basis if you can't stop the run. I know that Mixon, I think he might be out next week, but they still have P. Ryan, and it literally has not made any difference who the opposition's running back was. For some reason, they end up looking like they deserve to be in the Hall of Fame.
Yeah,
So, with
kind of
that
like
being
Damian Pierce.
right, I literally had to look and had look him up and just to find out where he went to school.
Where did he go to school?
Paul, I think it was the University of Florida. Right,
Oh,
I don't even remember what I seen, but I'm just saying it. This guy, I literally, I'm not gonna say I never heard of because I heard that he was doing well. I didn't think that we would make him look like a Hall of Famer, but we did.
well,
Right.
we
And
got a knack for that.
man, we got what about what happened when we played the Dolphins? Who's the Dolphins running back? What, Cedric Wilson one? Who name another one?
Cedric Wilson.
Well, okay.
Um, I don't know. I can't name another one.
Mostert, right? Am
Yeah.
I correct?
Oh yeah. Raheem Mostert. Oh yeah. I mean, he had a great game. Raheem had a great
Well, no,
game.
they both had good games. They both
Yeah.
had.
Well, that's not saying much. Everybody had a great game against the Browns when it came to running the ball. I mean, here that what Huntley. I never forget Huntley for the Atlanta Falcons. He ran down the field. They didn't even pass the ball. He just ran down the field. Now you talk about something that's crazy. He ran down the field.
The Falcons had two running backs that I literally never heard of. And they ran the ball down our throat to the point that I couldn't even watch it anymore. It was terrible.
It was terrible, bro.
Do you remember when you were a kid? You know, you're much younger, and we were playing Michigan. You know, the Buckeyes were playing Michigan.
Yeah.
And it was this guy named Tim Biakapatuka.
Tim Biakapatuka. Who could forget Tim Biakapatuka? Anybody out there? I'm talking about. I mean, this is throwback to my Michigan stigma. Tim Biakapatuka. I mean, what did he run for? Like 200 some yards, 300 yards. It was crazy.
Pablo, it was crazy. Yeah. And then no one has heard of Tim Biakapatuka since. Okay.
No, did he go to the league?
Paul, he never was. I think he went to the Panthers, if my memory is correct.
Yeah, he did.
Right, but he still didn't have he didn't have a big career or anything, you know.
Oh, he had 14 TDs. He had 2,500 yards. Let's see here.
Yeah.
He was selected by the Carolina Panthers in the first round. He was the 8th overall pick in the 90th draft.
Yes.
They said he was often injured. He never played more than 12 games in a single season. For his career, he appeared in 51 games, 35 as a starter, over 6 seasons from 96 to 2001. He totaled 2,500 yards and 789 receiving yards and scored 17 touchdowns as a member of the Panthers.
Exactly.
He became the first running back to record 2 touchdown runs of 60 or more yards in the same game.
Pablo, we are making Tim Biakapatukas every week.
Every week.
On an NFL level.
That's just what we do.
That's just what we do. That's the way we roll. That's the way we've been rolling.
That's how we do it.
I'm just saying.
We wouldn't have it any other way.
Man, it seems that way. But the answer to that is it can't be that way.
We wouldn't have it any other way.
Come on, man. We talking about every week, man. We patting guys' stats. We making the opposing running backs money.
Tim Biakapatuka,
every week.
This is what we do.
Man, come on, man.
Yeah, come on. Nah, I mean, it's impossible. It's impossible.
No, it ain't. We're watching it. It ain't impossible. It ain't.
I'm trying to feel better. I'm trying to do whatever I can do to get over the disappointment so I can feel better. Okay. First of all, we lost to Michigan, and you talked to Shauna about it. Was she over it? Open up old wounds. So
no, we ain't over it.
Yeah, now I thought I was over it. Now she upstairs pouting and in the bed because you said.
I'm sorry for mentioning it.
Yeah, you messed me all up. So thank you for that.
Well, you're welcome.
I appreciate that. I'll deal with my little Ohio State monster. But if she would have been even worse if if Ohio State would have got to play Michigan in the first round of the playoff versus in the national championship game. So at least they can try to get redemption against number 1 Georgia, and then they can try to get their revenge on Michigan in the national championship game if Michigan can beat TCU, because I don't want to discount them. I mean, TCU is a real team, and they are there. They can beat Michigan. Michigan is not unbeatable. They're not invincible. I do think if TCU played Georgia, they would probably lose by 60 points, but that's what I think about that. But I do think that TCU can hang with Michigan. I do think that. That's me.
So let me ask this question. Okay, so I shouldn't have never brought up Tim Biakabatuka, right?
Nah, you shouldn't
Because
have.
it led right into this conversation that I've been trying to avoid like the plague, right?
You never should have brought that up.
But since you wanted to elaborate on it,
Here we go.
past the point that I was willing to go with Tim Biakabatuka.
Here we go. Hit me with it.
No, nope. I'm still not over it 100%. You know, I mean, I know I'm not over it 100%, but it's better. Okay, at least I'm functional.
Are you better now?
I'm functional. I didn't.
Okay.
I'm not completely. I'm not 100%.
I'm just checking on you. I'm just checking.
No,
on you. Well, I guess you checking on Shauna.
Well, you already do.
Well, no, I thought you was doing better, man. We was having happy conversations.
Oh, I am doing better. I said I was doing better.
We was talking about, butterflies and buttercups, man. And now you bring up Ohio State, Michigan out the blue, like you having PTSD from a war 5 years ago.
Well, Paul, okay, you remember we were sitting up talking about our dominance of the Bengals and Joe Burrow has never beat us?
Yeah.
Right. Well, see, it was a flashback at that point too. I'm like, wait a minute, hold on, wait, something tragic just happened to me, you know? Right, but no, actually, I am much better. I want everybody to know I'm much better. And I want to thank God for something too. I'm so happy that we're not playing them, or I'll say it, Michigan, on New Year's Eve, because another defeat there would have just messed up my whole year.
So you couldn't take it.
Right. So it's better for us to go ahead and play Georgia. And then if it comes to it and we play them again, it'll be for the national championship. And that'll be the biggest stage. And ironically, I believe it'll be the biggest sporting event in the history of our country. But whatever. Right. No, long as it's not on New Year's Eve, no one has to worry about me jumping off the roof. How about that?
You ain't jumping off no roof.
No.
All right. Well, I think that we reacted accordingly to a lackluster game against the Texans. I hate to be a downer and on a victory, but there's really no other way to be, because the game actually sucked and it was like watching paint dry, as I said before. Was there? I got to try to catch a better game. I mean, who's playing Sunday night? Let's see here. Who's playing Sunday?
Kansas City and Cincinnati are playing now.
Yeah, but Sunday night football.
No, forget about it. Go to sleep. Go to sleep.
Yeah, that'd be the Colts and Cowboys.
Right, get you a nap. Get you a nap.
I'm not. I don't know if I'll stay up to make it for the Colts and the Cowboys.
No.
Because that might be an equally paint drying game, like it was before. So I don't know.
I don't know. No, watching the Colts and no, Peyton Manning is not there. Okay.
No. Yeah, I mean he just
Andrew Luck is not there.
Yeah, I don't know. That ain't working out. So then I guess we'll have to catch you in the next reaction show. How the Cavs looking right now?
Right now, the Cavs are down 55-47, but it's only the beginning of the third quarter, pretty much. So they'll walk down the Knicks. I'm not worried about them. You know, the Cavs they have had a really, really nice season so far. They have a lot of potential, and unlike the Browns, I'm sorry, y'all. I'm sorry, it's my team. I love them. Right, but unlike the Browns, they have like stars that actually like play with their hair on fire. Just saying.
On fire.
But with their hair on fire.
And their stars.
And they play hard.
And they're making $100 million.
And yes, they're making $100 million too. But they actually, like get on the floor, get dirty, play defense.
But that $100 million is a lot of money, right? That's a lot of money.
Oh, son, come on, man. Right. Oh, man.
That
Yeah.
is a lot of money.
Man, actually, Miles Garrett, every time he be walking on the field, right, it just be money coming out of his pocket.
Every time.
What? I'm just saying.
Yeah, we're just saying. All right, so next time, man, we're gonna catch you guys in our next reaction show. All right, Dad. Peace.
Peace, man. God bless everybody.